In the past, the Aiwa logo could be seen everywhere, on cassette players, boomboxes, and home minisystems. This Japanese brand of audio devices, founded in the middle of the 20th century, won the hearts of music lovers all over the world thanks to its high-quality sound and affordable price. But over time, Aiwa disappeared from shops, leaving behind fond memories. Fortunately, the story did not end there. Today the brand Aiwa is experiencing a second birth, albeit somewhat ambiguous. What happened to Aiwa and how did it go from upsurge to oblivion and back on the market? Who now owns the famous name? What products are produced under the Aiwa brand these days and what to look out for? And let's also figure out where to look for the real Aiwa, and where in front of us is just a familiar logo on a random device. The Aiwa brand was established in Japan in 1951. The company was founded under the name Eiko Denki Sangyo and was initially engaged in the production of microphones, and later changed its name to Aiwa Company Limited. In the 1960s and 70s, Aiwa was rapidly gaining strength as one of the market leaders in AV equipment. The company was famous for many innovative products. For example, in 1964 Aiwa released Japan's first tape recorder. And in 1968, the first Japanese portable boombox TPR-101. And in 1980, the company introduced the Cassette Boy, the world's first personal stereo recorder. Also in the early 80s, Aiwa released a premium boombox CS880 with a unique acoustic 3D system with passive radiator and advanced features for its time, digital synthesized tuner, Dolby noise reduction, support for metal cassettes and advanced deck control. The model was characterized by powerful, clear sound and became one of the most popular models of the early 80s. Also in the first half of the decade, the company released the CAW20, which was equipped with a sophisticated cassette deck with auto-record programming and auto-reverse, and track switching was performed by separate round sensors on the panel. A passive subwoofer was built inside the center unit, which amplified the bass through the air from the speakers. In fact, in the golden 80s, the company's lineup included cassette players, mini-component music centers, headphones, and car stereos, practically all audio electronics of that era. For many music lovers, the name Aiwa became synonymous with reliable audio equipment. Company has released quite a few iconic models. For example, premium cassette player Aiwa HSPX. Audiophiles call it one of the best portable players in terms of sound quality in history. It is interesting that the Sony Corporation started looking at the successful competitor quite early. Back in 1969, Sony acquired a controlling stake in Aiwa. Nevertheless, Aiwa continued to operate under its own brand, remaining an independent company until the early 2000s. In the late 1990s, Aiwa's fortunes faltered due to growing competition from cheaper Asian manufacturers and declining demand. The company made losses for several years in a row, and in 2001 the management announced a major restructuring, up to half of the staff reduction and closure of most of the plants. However, these measures did not save the situation. In 2002, Sony finally acquired Aiwa, turning it into its own subsidiary. If talking about notable Aiwa products of those years, the 1990s were a little bit sadder for the company than the 80s. Nevertheless, they managed to release something interesting even then. For example, music system NSX 999, which became one of the flagships of Aiwa in the late 90s. This model had a very powerful amplifier and received a lot of positive feedback for the sound quality. The NSX 999 used proprietary audio technologies, the BBE system to improve clarity and detail, and the T-bass mode to boost the lowest frequencies, which made type bass a hallmark of Aiwa's sound from that era. Featuring a 3-disc CD changer, dual cassette deck and multiband EQ, the system remained one of the most desirable music systems of the 90s. In 2003, under the wing of Sony, the brand tried to be relaunched as a line of simplified low-cost electronics, but this strategy was not a great success. By 2008, the legendary brand had virtually ceased to exist, the production of Aiwa products was completely phased out, and the name left the market. After almost a decade of non-existence, the Aiwa brand has started to come back to life. In 2015, American entrepreneur Joe Bourne, Hale Devices, obtained from Sony the rights to use the Aiwa brand for the US and a number of other countries. His new Aiwa Corporation released the first bark of the revival, the powerful portable Bluetooth speaker Aiwa Exos 9. This speaker quickly became the flagship of the revived Aiwa brand, offering a perfect fit for parties and home use. However, the product had little to do with the company's legacy. 2 years later, the Japanese segment of the brand came to life. On the 11th of April 2017, Towada Audio, a well-known contract electronics manufacturer for Sony, announced that it had acquired the rights to Aiwa worldwide, excluding the Americas. Japan's Towada established a new Aiwa company limited headquartered in Tokyo, effectively reviving the original Japanese Aiwa. The director became Kazuumi Nakamura, a man who had worked at the old Aiwa since 1989. Thus, it is important to realize that these days the Aiwa brand has divided management. Global rights, in most countries, are held by Towada Audio and its subsidiary Aiwa Company. In North America, the brand is managed by other firms. The US-based Aiwa Corporation of Chicago initially acted independently, and in September 2020 they even announced that they would join forces with the new Japanese Aiwa to create a single global brand. However, it soon became clear that Aiwa's financial position in the US was very weak. In August 2021, Aiwa Corporation, US, filed for bankruptcy. In November 2021, its assets were purchased by Aiwa Acquisitions LLC, a company associated with the holding company Sakar International. Sakar is a well-known player that bought up the rights to a number of legendary audio brands, for example Alltech Lansing, so from then on Aiwa in North America became a sister brand to Alltech Lansing and other brands from the Sakar portfolio. Meanwhile, the new Japanese Aiwa has always distanced itself from its American counterparts. It has officially stated that Aiwa Corporation, Chicago, USA, is not related to Aiwa, Tokyo. That is, the Japanese are clearly positioning themselves as the true successors to Aiwa. In the past, there have even been legal disputes over the rights to the brand in different countries. The bottom line is that Aiwa is now controlled by two key forces: Japan's Towada Audio, the main rights holder, and Sakar International, the current American rights holder. At the same time, other regions have their own license partners. The structure of brand utilization has turned out to be quite complex. In fact, Aiwa today is not one company, but a network of partners in different parts of the world, operating under license. In Latin America, the rights to the Aiwa name are held by Audio Mobile Americas, Panama, which revitalized the brand in the region in 2017. This partner sells smart TVs, headphones, speakers, and other electronics under the Aiwa brand. In Europe, the Aiwa brand is represented through Aiwa Europe SL, Spain, operating under the control of the Japanese Aiwa Company Limited. It is worth noting that India, Brazil, and Vietnam have their own Aiwa brand owners, some of which are managed by Japan, while the rest have simply bought the rights to the brand. Today, the Aiwa brand produces a wide range of electronics from audio speakers to televisions and even household appliances. The key direction, of course, is audio equipment. The new Aiwa offers Bluetooth speakers, headphones, portable acoustic systems. For example, in addition to the mentioned Exos 9 model, wireless headphones Aiwa Arc 1 and Prodigy Air were produced in the USA. Japanese Aiwa is also betting on sound. In 2017, right after the revival, the company began with the release of radio cassette recorders and vinyl players in retro style, and in 2020 presented the original wearable device Butterfly Audio, shoulder-mounted headphone speakers of unusual design. Experiments with nostalgic formats are continuing. In Japan, a Bluetooth speaker with the look of a vinyl player, model SB LFS30, and Aiwa TR-A30 cassette recorder were released. In addition to audio, TV sets occupy a significant share of Aiwa's current market portfolio. Aiwa-branded smart TVs have been launched in countries ranging from Japan and Vietnam to India and Latin America. These models offer advanced features. For example, The Aiwa Magnific series introduced in India includes QLED 4K TVs and has received positive reviews for picture quality at a low cost. In 2022, Japan created the Aiwa Digital Division, to which it transferred the rights to digital gadgets, smartphones, tablets, and Aiwa smartwatches. In Europe, where Aiwa is owned by a Spanish company controlled from Japan, one of the most popular products has become the MIX150 retro speaker with a unique vintage design. Made in the style of a classic wooden radio, this portable speaker is equipped with modern components, powerful drivers, a battery for autonomous operation, and a Bluetooth module. The combination of retro look and advanced technology has provided this model with effective sound and impressive appearance at the same time. If you look at the Aiwa lineup from an audiophile or real music lover's point of view, as of 2025, none of Aiwa offers serious music devices. However, Japan's Aiwa has taken modest steps in this area. The company offers two stereo amplifiers, AMR 200 and AMU 120BT. Both of them are of the initial segment, but already designed for hi-fi. Besides, Japanese Aiwa has two vinyl turntables in its catalog, and the APX 680 model is positioned as a premium product. Externally, the product really looks quite premium, but the characteristics do not cause much excitement, an average inexpensive turntable and nothing more. Well, let's summarize briefly. The main successor of the original Aiwa can be considered the Japanese Aiwa Company Limited under the management of Towada Audio. In press releases, this Japanese Aiwa specifically emphasizes that it is not related to the American Aiwa. The American Aiwa, which now is owned by Sakar, on the contrary, claims that it managed to bring the brand back to the market in a clever and spectacular way. And let's not repeat all the other businesses that have the rights to use the Aiwa logo. Well, the history of the Aiwa brand is an example of ups, downs, and comebacks. Now Aiwa is distributed between different owners, but the brand is still alive. Who knows, maybe in the near future we will see another relaunch of this legendary brand. Maybe it will happen, and this time we will get a truly high-tech brand with respect to the heritage. Let's wait and see. Thanks for watching. As always, please like, subscribe and comment. Stay tuned to the channel. Lots of interesting things to come.